Okay, it's Dr. Young. I know we're 5 minutes early. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have any techie problems this time around. So once you get here, just type in the chat box that you can see my slide. So we've got a few more minutes, and I'm not going to start talking about the webinar yet. I just wanted to take 4 minutes and just tell you how much I appreciate every one of you for being supportive of this project that I started about 11 weeks ago now. These weekly webinars. I wasn't quite sure what I got myself into when I had asked on LinkedIn if anybody was interested in joining me on some live interactive webinars. So I think I've managed to figure out the live aspect of it. I'm not quite sure yet if I figured out the interactive part of it. That's still a work in progress. And I think with the Google Hangouts, you can only have 5 presenters or 5 people interacting, unless you're all in the same room. And then, of course, the screen will you can, 10 people can talk on one screen. But as far as with everybody strewn all over the US and actually the whole world, because we have people from Australia who listen to the replays, it's been a little bit more challenging. So last week I had the teleconference to get some ideas on that, and that was interesting. So I'm still trying to figure out that part of it. So as you are starting to come online and you're starting to join the webinar, if you could just type into the chat box that A, you can hear me, and B, you can see my slide, which says, learn how to convey the importance of your ideas in 6 simple steps. Last time I did a webinar, I had some major IT problems, and it took me about 10 minutes to figure it out, and I didn't want to be in that same situation again. So I wanted to be a little bit more proactive, and so I started a few minutes early, but the actual webinar is not going to start for a little bit longer. So if you're on here, if you could just type into the chat box, it should be on the right side of your screen, that you can hear me. Sound's always good, audio's good. We're going to be in big trouble if you can't. So if you can type a yes, I can hear you in there, that'd be great. And then also if you can see my slide, which I hope you can, otherwise I'm going to be in big trouble. So I think there's a few of you on here. We've got another minute or so. And I know that there is a delay between when you type into your chat box. Don't forget to hit return or click send. But I think there's almost like a 1 minute delay before I can see it on my end. So if you could put that in there, that would help me out a lot. Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, let's give it just a few more seconds as people are starting to trickle in here. I bet it's been a busy week for everybody. It has been for me. Hang on, let me just straighten out my earbuds. I'll be right back. Couldn't figure out why they were all twisted. Okay, so thank you. Yes, thank you for being here. So you can hear me, you can see my slides. Yay. The IT portion of this is always the most challenging for me. So it is 1 o'clock and it's Dr. Young here. Thank you for joining me today on this weekly webinar. And remember, these webinars occur every Thursday from 1 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the purpose of these webinars is to connect you with people, ideas, and resources to help you in your veterinary practice. So it's been a tough week, and it's been a bit of a struggle today. I feel like I've been all over, so I just wanted to take a minute and just wind down with you. So close your door, turn your phone off, turn the ringer off, take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, just shrug them up and down a couple of times. Close your eyes just for a minute. I'll get you back on track, and just breathe. Just for a minute, stop fiddling with your computer, your pen, your hair. Stop tapping your feet. Just sit back in your chair, put your hands in your lap, close your eyes, and breathe. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Let's do that for just a few more seconds. Through your nose, out through your mouth, in. And when you exhale, just think of all the chaos in your life and just let it go with that exhale. And the next time you breathe in, just think of the wonderful things that are happening in your life. And the fact that you're here with a whole bunch of us who are interested in the same information that you're interested in. And we're all passionate about veterinary medicine, veterinary practice management, the veterinary industry, and all that it holds for us. So take another deep breath in through your nose and out, and then open your eyes, and then be open to what you're going to hear from me today. So today I want to take 20 minutes and talk to you about another common problem that I see in veterinary hospitals that I work with as a consultant and a coach. And if you have any questions, type them in the chat box and I will get to them at the end of my presentation. By all means, if you can't hear me, if you have IT challenges, try to refresh your browser, see if that helps. Otherwise, not sure what I'm going to do. So today's webinar is actually a tough one. I'm going to tell you ahead of time that I will be asking you some tough questions because today is not about them. It's all about you, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this problem of not being able to convey the importance of your ideas goes hand in hand with the last webinar that I presented to you a few weeks ago. And in that webinar, we talked about how to become a more influential practice manager. Well, today's webinar is for you if you have ideas that you want to implement, but you don't have the staff compliance or you don't have the support of your practice owner. It's a matter of they will listen to you, but they won't do as you say. And Megan just said she can't hear anything on her end. From before, everybody could hear me, so maybe it's on your end, Megan. Try fiddling with your speakers. Let me just write that in here. Must be on your end, and I will keep going. So it's a matter of that they will listen to you, but then they won't do as you say. So you'll hear things like, that sounds great, but I'm not sure that will work in our clinic. That's fine, but let's discuss it later. Or let's wait until we do blah, blah, blah before we do this. So my question for you is, where and when did this lack of staff compliance or lack of owner support start? Is it them or is it you? Are they being defiant? Are they challenging your authority? Are they being insubordinate? Do they want to do what they want to do without consideration of anybody else? And if you're saying yes to that, why? Why is that? Or do they give you the cold shoulder and walk away? That's kind of like the practice owner thing to do. You know, just say, oh yeah, okay, we'll talk about it later. So they don't stop and actually listen to you. Why is that? And you're going to have to ask yourself some tough questions. You know, when did it start? Why is it? And then the tough one is, what did I do to support that behavior? So if you think it's them and it's their fault and not yours, then you're just going to be spinning your wheels, and you'll be in the same position next month and the month after that and next year and the year after that. But if you think back and you can stop blaming them, so basically stop blaming the dog for having torn up the couch, stop blaming the dog for not listening to you, and realize that there's a huge hole in your training, then we have something to talk about, because it's all about training them to listen to you, training them to do what you want them to do. So how do you get them to listen to your ideas? How do you turn it all around? Step one and step two. It's a change in your mind shift. It's a mind shift. So step one is that you have to understand that you cannot change others. You can only change yourself. And you've heard it before. We say it all the time, but it really has to sink in. Life is your mirror. What you are experiencing right now at work is probably also what you are experiencing outside of work in your personal life. So start paying attention to the people you interact with and how you interact with them. And more importantly, what they throw back at you. Because step number 2 is to realize that what you put out there, you will get back. Now, that doesn't mean that if someone throws you a ball, you have to catch it every time, meaning that if somebody is nasty to you, that you just have to catch that ball and deal with it. Sometimes you just have that, slide, just turn sideways, don't even catch the ball. Don't engage in that conversation, but notice what's going on and think, oh my gosh, what did I do that I just got that ball thrown at me? So in that, notice what you're throwing at your team, what you're throwing at your boss. So that's not just, the conversations that you want to have, but also how you're having them, the words that you're using, the body language that you're using. Are you being too bossy? Are you being too weak? Are you, squaring up your shoulders and going into battle, or are you trying to have a conversation? So notice what you throw at your team or your boss, and if you don't get the reaction that you want, think about what you could do differently next time. Because I can't tell you one thing or 6 things that you need to do right now that will get you noticed tomorrow, or that will have you convey the importance of your ideas. It's a process. It's not a quick fix. If it doesn't work, do something else. These 6 steps are guidelines. It's things that you have to own. You have to own these 6 steps. So, step 3. Ask yourself, do you have their trust? Do they trust you? Have you created trust within your team? Because trust is huge. Trust creates loyalty. If they don't trust you, they won't follow you. And then they don't want to do what you want them to do. And there are a few simple ways that you can create trust quickly that I actually cover in great detail in my 5-week masterclass that starts in September. And you'll be getting the information for the masterclass tomorrow. If you haven't signed up for it yet, I would look for that information in your inbox. So make sure that you have their trust. That includes having the owner's trust also. Your owner trusted you when you were hired. And the question should be, do you still have that trust? If not, why not? So I'm going to address how to create trust as we go through the rest of the webinar, but I want you to really understand that trust is hugely important. The other thing that's important is step number 4. Show compassion. Show compassion to all of your team members, not just the ones you get along with. Of course, it's easy when you get along with them, when you have the same personality as that person, and you can chit-chat about things that are important to both of you. It's easy to create compassion with that person, but create it with everybody on your team. And being compassionate comes easy to all of us in the veterinary field when it comes to animals, but not so much when it comes to people. And I struggled with it for a long time. I was drawn to animals. The people were just kind of attached and along for the ride, especially with people that came to me with their horse problems. I could create relationships with the horses very easily. I would have just preferred that the owners to just step away and not talk to me. Let me just work with the horse and I'll get it all figured out. But it doesn't work that way. And once I focused on the people, when I started really focusing on what they said, and I started to understand them, then I became a better vet, even for the animals. It's the same for you. Once you transfer that compassion that you have for animals onto the people in your life, you will see a huge shift. So how do you become more compassionate towards people? The same way you are compassionate towards animals. You feel for them. You understand their pain. The good thing about people, you can ask them questions and you can listen to their answers. So ask them questions, but at the same time, don't bombard them with questions. It's not an interrogation session. Just ask one question that leads to another question and really listen to the answer. We want to listen so we can reply. All of us do that. We ask a question while the other person is talking. We are already formulating a reply in our head before that person has even finished speaking. We all do that. And we all need to stop doing that. It's something you need to train your brain to do. I'm the same way. I'm just more aware of it than maybe most of you are. And so when I realize it, I stop and I listened to it. I had a conversation with my mom. My parents live in Germany. My mom and I Skyped. She was helping me with something in my business, and she had a question about it. Well, I already knew the answer. So instead of letting her finish, I kept interrupting because I already knew the answer. And we were going back and forth interrupting each other until finally I realized that, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm not listening. I'm replying when I haven't even listened to the whole answer. I mean, the whole question. So it's something that you need to train yourself to do. And when it creeps up, you just stop. You just go, okay, I just realized I was talking when I should be listening. So it's something that you practice over and over before you become good at it. But once you really listen, and you listen for feelings and emotions and pain can be challenges. For my mom, it's not physical pain, it's the pain of, I can't figure this out and I need your help. So let me finish my thought process, let me dump it all out on the table for you, and then I'm open to listen to your reply. So once you listen for the feelings and emotions and the pain within the other person, and you stop wanting to tell them your story, that happens a lot too. Once you master that, you will show compassion and you will draw people towards you and they will open up to you. It's a huge step to creating trust. So we're going back to the whole trust issue. So trust and compassion go hand in hand. You can expedite the process by offering and studying personality tests. And personality tests are great tools in any clinic, in any business. And a lot of vet clinics actually are starting to use personality tests, and there's a whole bunch of them out there. I guess the Myers-Briggs, most people know about that, and that's a great thing, a great personality test to take on your own and to suggest to your team. But then for your business and for your vet clinic, the two that I recommend is the DISC profile and the CVI, the Core Values Index. And I use the Core Values Index all the time. And you can find the Core Values Index assessment on my website. You can actually go there, you can click on it, you can take the free assessment. It won't give you the whole report, but the free report is pretty good. It's very comprehensive, and I love the Core Values Index enough that I actually give webinars on it and about it, and I use it in all of the clinics that I coach. And I've even been thinking about presenting, giving a webinar presentation to you guys about the CVI. So that may come up in October. So a personality test will first and foremost tell you things about yourself that you may or may not have known. And you will definitely have some aha moments, those, oh, that's why I do that kind of moment. It will also tell you how to interact or how to act around others with different personalities. And that's very important for you to know, especially in a practice manager's position or a practice owner's position or a business owner's position. It will give you a strategy or several strategies actually to communicate better based on your personality compared to the other person's personality. And so you can motivate, and when you become good at it, you can even manipulate other people as long as you know their personality. And manipulating is not, I know it has a negative connotation, but I don't mean it in a negative context here, although you could use it that way. I think some high-level gamblers probably use that. I teach personality profiling in a blink of an eye, so you don't even need to hand out personality tests, but until you get there, use personality tests. Definitely use them. And you don't have to make it a hush-hush event. Just because you hand out personality tests or you ask your team to take personality tests doesn't mean that those results are just for them. You want them to openly share it. It's a great opportunity for your team to interact. Have meetings about it. Get to know each other again. Find out about each other so you can have better conversations, so you can be more compassionate, and you can create that trust. But again, it's a process. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. And until you've mastered that, you want to go and jump to step number 6, which is to be inspirational. Be you. Be different. You're working in this clinic in your position for a reason. You were hired because you are you. You have something that is needed in this clinic. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there. If you don't know what that thing or those things are, ask around. Ask the person who hired you. Ask your team. Ask, your boss, what was it that you liked about me? And what was it that made you hire me? It's a great conversation to have. And then just shush and listen. You can also ask your team, hey, what do you like about what I do in this clinic? What would you like me to do more of? What do I do that supports you? Those are all great questions. And use them. Use the feedback that you're getting, and don't make any excuses for the feedback. I know that a lot of you want to say, oh, what don't you like about me? Don't go there. I mean, do you really think that they're going to tell you what they don't like about you? They want to keep their jobs. So, set them up for success. Don't ask them, oh, what don't you like about me? That's not going to help you. Ask them for the positive, what they like about you, to start the conversation. Eventually, as you're creating trust and they believe that you're not going to throw them under the bus, they will give you the other feedback, the negative feedback. And that's a whole nother conversation that we're going to have in my 5-week masterclass. So use the responses that you're getting, build on it. It's like that saying, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. By all means, stand for something. This is huge. And then walk your talk. If you say you will do something, do it. If you say to somebody on your team, I'm not quite sure about that, let me get back to you on that tomorrow. You better get back with them on it tomorrow, even if you don't have the answer. And make sure that they are in the clinic so you know their schedule. If they leave at 12 o'clock, don't go the following day and say, well, I had forgotten that you that you leave at 12 o'clock on Friday, so I'm sorry, here I am. None of that. That's not walking your talk. If you say, I'm going to get back with you tomorrow, that means you will get back with them tomorrow. That does not mean after hours. That's not a call from you when they are at home. This is during their hours. You will get back with them and you will tell them that here's the information that I promised you. Or you will say, hey, I promised you this information. I don't have all of that ready yet for you. Is it okay if we talk about it on Monday? So really walk your talk. If you say you will do something, do it. That's huge. I'm harping on that. I hope that you get that. By being you, you will do something that they will want to do. And you will have something they will want to have because you're unique, just like that purple cat. I love that picture. Be unique. People want what they don't have. And that's you. That's that thing that got you the job at this clinic, that got you to be the practice manager, that made you, if you're a practice owner, that made you open the clinic and hire your great staff. It's you that they want to follow. So once they follow you, and that again is based on trusting you and wanting to be around you and understanding that you feel compassionate for them and that you don't want to change them. Once they follow you, they will want to do what you ask them to do. And if they don't, they will tell you. There's nothing worse than asking somebody to do, hey, could you do this for me? And they mumble and walk off. Was that a yes? Oh, and here's something that I don't do. If somebody says sure to me, I will stop in my tracks and I will say, is that a yes or no? Because a sure is a maybe in my ears. don't take a sure as an answer, and don't say sure as an answer. Sure is not an answer. I don't even know where that word came from. It's either yes or no, and I have to hurry up because we only have 5 more minutes. So if you have questions, now is a good time to type it in as I'm into the chat box as I'm finishing here. I'm just trying to get way too passionate about this, which is what you'll hear in the 5-week masterclass. So here is the summary of the 6 steps to convey your importance. So people want to help you set your ideas in motion. It's not one thing that you can do. It's a bunch of things and steps that come together to turn you into a leader. If I had called this a leadership webinar, you would have probably not even signed up for it because there are so many webinars on leadership. But basically what these 6 steps do, if you follow them, they will turn you into a leader that people want to follow. And by the way, leadership is not about telling someone what to do. It's about inspiring them. It's about motivating them. It's about being compassionate for their needs and understanding their fears. It's about being there for them when they need you while allowing them to show you their worth, which includes making mistakes. Allow them to make mistakes. That's a whole nother topic. So, in summary, 1, understand that you cannot change others. 2, the world and the people in it, meaning the people in your world around you. And I'm also going to say that includes what you watch on TV. I watch very little TV because mostly it's negative. The world and the people in it are your mirror. That's huge. 3, take the time to create trust. Number 4, show compassion for the people around you. There's a really good TED Talk. It's only about 10-15 minutes long. It's actually by a magician. It's a TED Talk by Brian Miller, and it's called How to Magically Connect with Anyone. Number 5, take and give out personality tests. And you can find the one that I use on my website. And go ahead, click on it, see what you think of it. Number 6, be inspirational, be you, and be true to yourself. And just a quick reminder, if you are at all interested in my 5-week masterclass, it starts the week after Labor Day. Look for that information in your inbox tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just reading my chat box here, and somebody said, great points, thank you. My employees will look at me as a leader. However, the owner is another subject. Although I have been here for more than 5 years, he is still very confrontational in a way. Sometimes I think he has some ego going on in there. LOL. So my question is, how is your ego? You know, have that. That's that difficult question that I was talking about in the beginning. Turn it around and question yourself. You know, do I have an ego? And does it come across in what I do and what I say? So explore that a little bit more. And if you want to shoot me an email, go ahead and do that. And we can discuss it a little bit more. So anybody else have any questions? I know that was a lot of information. I was rushing through it a little bit in the 20 minutes that we had. It's almost 1:30. And thank you for joining me, and thank you for supporting me in this project of presenting these webinars every week. And if you have any suggestions, by all means, do email them to me. I'm definitely open to them. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to be doing next Thursday. It's the Thursday before Labor Day weekend. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to be either really busy or not even in the office. So I might just do something completely different for next Thursday, and then we'll be back on track the week after that. And actually, I have a presenter for you out of the financial world. And I hope that's going to help you in some way with your practice and actually also with your interaction with your teams. So thank you for being here. And yes, let me know if you have any questions. Don't be shy. Email me. I'm always happy to hear from you. And I will talk to you next Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.